Hi there, and welcome to episode 56 of the Digital Marketing Masters podcast. It is 2020. It's the very first episode of the year, and welcome to the show if you've just joined us. If you are a regular listener, thank you so much for being so loyal. And if you're new, consider subscribing to this podcast because every week we bring you easy, actionable tips, content, and strategies that you can use to grow your business online almost immediately. I'm a digital marketer. I give you tips and strategies that I use in my very own business for myself and for my clients. So you can be sure that anything that you hear on this podcast, I have tried and tested myself. Now, it's the beginning of the year, and in any business you want to see growth, you want to see abundance in the coming year, and all of that doesn't come just like that. There has to be some level of planning involved. So today on the show, I'm going to take you through the steps that you need to be doing as a business owner, as a service provider, in order for you to see growth in your business in 2020. Now, the number one reason why most businesses do not grow is because they do not have a plan. It is critical for every business owner to plan on annually for consistent, healthy growth. And there are several reasons why owners just do not plan, but the fact remains is that you have to plan if you want to grow your business. The question is how do you do it? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode of the Digital Marketing Masters podcast. So I'm going to give you a couple of concepts, give you the outlines that you need to be looking at for you to start planning for the coming year. So before we jump into the planning process, we need to do some prep work. So the things that you would need to do before you actually do the planning is to review your financials for 2019. Analyze your strengths, your weaknesses. What were they in your business, your employees? What were those strengths and what were those weaknesses? And then brainstorm on what you might want to accomplish in 2020. So give yourself a little time to think about this and prepare yourself mentally for the planning process. Once you're ready to move forward, write the simple three-part business plan for 2020. So those three parts we will cover are: one, your marketing plan; two, your financial plan or your budget; and three, your operational improvement plan. So when it comes to your marketing, I know this is the Digital Marketing Master Show. That's just one component that we do cover on this platform. So when it comes to your marketing plan, there are 7 components to a good marketing plan. Now, most of these do not change drastically from year to year. It will be subtle and slight changes as your business evolves, as technology evolves, especially if you are digital heavy. So, you need to identify your primary or core product or service and then write your plan around the 7 components that I'm going to discuss. So, the first component is your ideal customer. Who is your ideal customer? Start with thinking about your best customer now. And sometime last year, or when we first started the podcast in 2018, I really broke down how you can identify your ideal customer. I even gave you a workbook that you can use and guided you through the entire process. I think it's episode 3. So go back and check it out. In fact, I was just listening to bits of it right now, and I sounded pretty scary, very robotic, but I give you some good content. So go check it out. And also consider downloading that workbook that will help you to identify your ideal customer. So to get that free download, go to www.yolandarose.com/DMM1 and you're going to get your free customer persona workbook. Number 2 is your unique selling proposition. Now, a good unique selling proposition should be concise. It needs to be straightforward. A very concise statement about the value that you bring, what makes you distinct from your competitors. So it should be interesting so that, when you're at a networking event, you can just pop out that 1 or 2 lines that really compels the person that you're engaging with to ask you more about what it is that you do. So a lot of the times we call it your value proposition. What is that? What makes you stand out? Now, you're not the only one that's doing your business. There are others out there. You have competitors. So you need to have this one line when anybody asks you what it is that you do, you can easily pop it out. So number 3 is your marketing message. Now, this is the crux of your marketing plan. So that speaks to your reputation, your experience, your training, your systems, and your guarantee. Now, you will use this content, whether it's just a part or the entire thing, on all of your marketing materials. So take some time in this section, since it is very little that will change from year to year. So be thorough, be concise, and really dig deep to identify the unique selling points in your reputation, your experience. Number four is your marketing mediums, and that's where we come in as the Digital Marketing Masters podcast. Obviously, if you're listening, digital is a major part of your marketing medium, and there's other ways that you can market your business as well, from the traditional advertising to referral marketing, and also digital being a big part of it, press releases, social media, and so on. You need to identify 5 to 10 of the most effective lead generating strategies that work well in your business. Now, obviously, digital marketing is one, and it's in for most businesses. This is the area that's expanding the most, but know that there is still a place for traditional marketing. There's still a place for maybe an ad in a newspaper or just the traditional styles of marketing that once made your business great. I mean, if you've been in business for a long time, there's still a place for it, especially with if you're dealing with older clientele that are not tech savvy. That's where most of your clients will be. But as you progress, I mean, in your long term planning for your business, digital media is definitely the place to be. So, number five is your marketing budget. Once you identify the mediums, you want to allocate budgets to that for the year, on how you're going to market your business and how much will each activity cost you and how often will you do it? How often will you run ads on Facebook, on print? Create a marketing budget for 2020. Number six is your marketing calendar. Now, this may be the single most critical component of this plan because you need to create a calendar of all the marketing activities that you will do annually. So then break it down by week and by month and then by week. So this will help you to know how much money you will expend each month on the various activities. And remember, especially with digital, you need to be consistent. You need to be engaging your audience on the platforms that you choose. And finally, it's your marketing dashboard. Now, this is basically your key KPIs, your key performance indicators for marketing. So it's critical that you track and measure everything because if you're not tracking it and if you're not measuring it, how do you know it's being successful? So every action that you take for marketing your business, it needs to either, create awareness for your business or bring in leads, bring in sales. So use a spreadsheet and measure the results from every marketing activity. By doing this, you will know your conversion rates and your closing ratios, and you will know what marketing activities work best for your business. So, the second component of your annual plan is your financial plan. So you start by looking over the past year and analyzing your income. Where did it come from? I mean, did it come from a certain group of clientele, younger clientele, older clientele, male or females? Did it come from a certain race group? Where did it come from? When did it come in? Is it seasonal, during the summer, during the winter, during the holidays, during Halloween, during Thanksgiving? When did that money come in? So you got to base your marketing activity around where this money came from. What do you project to bring in for 2020? So make those income projections. Let it be a simple guess. If you're at $10,000 a month, make those projections to be 5, 10, 20% growth. So try and project your income by the calendar year. Then you need to analyze where you spent your money this past year. Did you spend it in operations? Did you spend it in marketing? Did you spend it on consumables? Where did your expenses go? Where did all the good expenditure go? What did you need to spend more or less on uh, in the coming year? So, based on your marketing plan and your history, create a budget by the month for the coming year. And if you do this by the month with your income and expenses, you will get a good picture of your cash flow throughout the year. Now, you have a budget and you can measure each month's performance too. So once you do this for the first year, it will become much easier coming next year and the years after that. Because it'll basically be, if you were using a spreadsheet, you'll just copy the sheet and make adjustments accordingly. So, the last component of your annual business planning would be your operational improvement plan. Now, there are 7 operational areas to evaluate and for you to brainstorm for your business. I find it helpful that to include the various team members, whether they're freelance or they're permanent members of my team, I like to include them in this part of the planning process. So, because they're involved in the processes, in many cases, they are the process owners and they can give me feedback on how we can improve, what new technology we can come in to automate things, make it simpler for us to save us time. So, include your staff in your planning. So, the 7 areas that you want to brainstorm and evaluate in your operational improvement plan are marketing. So, you will do this before you complete your marketing section that we described earlier on. Your sales, your customer fulfillment, your customer satisfaction, your leadership and operational management, your cash flow, your financial management, such as inventory, your cost of goods or services or expenses, and also your back of office, like your accounting, your reporting, your KPIs. I usually do this, especially for your standard operating procedures. I have these flow sheets that that I use and we review every year. Can we shorten the process? Can we make it smoother? How can we improve these processes to reduce our cost and reduce our time to allow us to be more productive? So, once you've brainstormed each of these areas, set yourself some goals. If possible, let your team help you set these goals and then assign a champion for each of these goals. Review these monthly. Are you on track? Are your team meeting these targets? And if you are on track, great. If you're not, go back, reevaluate that plan, change other aspects of your plan to try and reach the targets that you've set in your planning process. So those are the 3 things that you need to be looking at. I mean, this process it's simple, it's efficient. After you do it for the first time, you'll discover that it's simple, it's easy, and it's an effective process to repeat year by year. Then this will result in growth and continuous improvement in your business. So that's it for me on the very first edition of the Digital Marketing Masters podcast for 2020. I would love to hear from you guys. Reach out to me on social media. I'm on Facebook, it's Yolanda Rose again, and on Instagram, Yolanda Rose 7, and also on LinkedIn as well. I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys on LinkedIn. And if you guys have anything specific that you would like me to cover on this podcast, just send me a message and we will put it out there for you. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, I would greatly appreciate an honest review on Apple Podcasts. It will really help me widen my audience and reach people, business owners just like you, where we can make a difference in each other's business and grow together in success and abundance in 2020. So that's it for me. I'll chat to you next week on the Digital Marketing Masters.